Many of us are familiar with Gallup's study that 76% of employees are disengaged in the workplace. But how come that number isn't changing? Do you recognize that year after year, Gallup's study shows the same percentage? And in fact, that number has not decreased in the last 5 years. Employees continue to be disengaged. Employees continue to quit jobs because of their managers. And employees continue to move on, sometimes with working less than a year, jumping from job to job to job, so that they can find the right fit with the right company. Hi, my name is Natalina Nasserdy, and I'm the CEO and founder of Rise Up For You. Welcome to Rise Up For You TV. My team and I work with leaders and organizations around the world to enhance company culture, leadership, and team performance. And we do that really by emphasizing the skills that often go overlooked. We call them the soft skills, also known as the power success skills. You know, my team and I, we work with leaders and organizations every single day. We're in the trenches. We see what's going on, we feel what's going on, we hear what's going on. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe there's not enough conscious conversation happening in the workplace to help increase employee engagement and to get your team to have buy-in? Today, I want to talk about how to have a courageous conversation, whether you're an entry level or an executive, so that you can maintain loyalty, buy-in, and engagement within your company. Now, I totally understand. If you're a team member that has a leader or a boss above you, it can be difficult to have a courageous conversation, or what I like to call a conscious conversation. Maybe you're worried about losing your job. Maybe you can't afford to create waves within the company because you have food to put on the table for your children. But there are ways, and it is possible for you to take your power back and to have a conscious conversation with your leader that can move the needle and create more engagement, more respect, and overall more buy-in. I'm going to teach you how to do that today. My team and I, as I mentioned, we're coaching individuals every single day and working with team members around the world. And recently, we've had a conversation with quite a few individuals that have mentioned that they're struggling with their leadership team and they prefer to just quit or lead versus have a conversation. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. They prefer to quit or leave instead of having a conversation. Now, I understand uncomfortable conversations, they can make us feel a certain way, they can be scary, they can be frightening. Again, maybe we're worried we're gonna lose our job, but what if we can learn to have a courageous, conscious conversation that's professional, that can express clearly, and that can help you and your leader get on the same page. Let's talk about how we can do that today. Step number 1, when you're ready to have a conscious conversation, I never want you to do it without role playing. That's right, role playing. This is where conversations could go south. Individuals will head into the meeting with their executive team, with their leadership team, without ever practicing a conversation. But many individuals, communication is a challenge for most individuals actually. And so being able to role play, being able to script out what you want to say, to write it down, to create an outline is going to help you make sure that you can stay calm, steady, and on track when you're having your conversation. So before you have a conversation, I want you to map it out, I want you to write it down, and I want you to role play it with somebody that you trust. Step number 2, I want you to make sure that you always use I statements. We want to make sure that we don't put the leader or the C-suite executive or whoever we're talking to in a state of defensiveness. When we use terminology like you do this and you're always this, that automatically heightens the situation and escalates it. Do your very best, and this is why we want to script it, to use I statements. I feel that when I'm in a meeting, I feel unheard. I feel that oftentimes there's a lot of stress and negativity in the office, and I feel like I can't do my very best work because of the environment that's around me. Notice how everything had to do with me. I. When you're having a conscious conversation, you really want to make sure that, again, you avoid the you statements so you don't escalate the situation. Number 3, we want to make sure that we can end the conversation with a solution by saying, I would love to have A, B, C, and D happen. Meaning that if you're going to have a courageous conversation, we need to have some kind of outcome. The last thing we want to do is go into a meeting, dump all of this information, and not provide any potential outcome or a solution. Remember, as a C-suite executive or as a leader, Individuals are looking for ways that we can solve the problem. That's how their brain works. That's why they're in a C-suite position or a leadership position. So it's going to be important for you to say, here are the things that I would like to see. How can we work together to make it happen? Now, there's a couple more strategies I want to give you to help you have a conscious conversation or a courageous conversation. We want to do something called the sandwich effect. And I'm not necessarily talking about PCP, which is a strategy that you can use in communication. But anytime you're going to talk to a leader or a C-suite executive, we want to show empathy. Now, oftentimes in the workplace, we hear a lot about empathy, but usually it's leaders showing empathy towards employees. Very rarely do we hear employees showing empathy to their leaders. It's really important to recognize that when you're going to have a critical, conscious conversation or a courageous conversation with your leadership team, that you put yourself in their shoes. Remember, they are juggling multiple things. There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that you probably don't know about. And that's on top of them having a family, right? Having their personal life. They're trying to juggle everything that's happening in the workplace. And that's okay. They're leaders. That's what they're meant to do. But that doesn't mean that we can't show empathy and we can't put ourselves in their shoes. So when you go to have this conversation, I want you to start by acknowledging and showing empathy for the leader. Perhaps saying something like, I understand that your role as a leader can be very difficult. There's a lot of things that are happening that I don't know anything about. A lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. You know, the workplace is shifting a lot. There's a lot of team members that you have to play different energies towards. So I can appreciate you and I can honor and respect that there's a lot of challenges that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis that I don't know anything about. Okay, so the first thing you're doing is just acknowledging that it can be challenging to be in their role. That automatically makes them feel a little bit of relief of, okay, they understand me, and somebody can see me. Because remember, leaders also want to be seen and heard. Now, phase number 2, this is where you use your I statements to express how you feel. So saying a transition statement such as, I'd like to express some concerns and challenges that I'm having that I'd like to address with you as my leader and my leadership team. I feel, and then go into some of your concerns using I statements. Now, I want you to sandwich the conversation by circling back and acknowledging the challenges that the leader goes through. So after you express what you express, you're gonna say something along the line of, again, I completely understand how difficult it is to be in your shoes. I know you see things that we don't see. I can understand that there's a lot on your plate. I'd like to solve this problem, and here are some of the solutions that I have. So the closing of the conversation is re-acknowledging some of the challenges that they're going through, re-acknowledging their role, and the cherry on top is saying, here's some things and some solutions that I would like to bring to the table. Now let's open it up for conversation. 76% of the workforce not being engaged is a high number, but what I'm more concerned about is the fact that it's not changing year after year. I strongly believe as a professional in this workplace, and my team and I working with organizations and leaders every single day, that part of the challenge is that we're not having enough courageous, conscious conversations. If we can teach our employees, whether it's entry level, it does not matter, to have these courageous conversations and to communicate effectively from a place of I can almost guarantee that we're gonna see some positive shift in the workplace. More engagement, more buy-in, and of course, more loyalty when it comes to leadership. Again, my name is Natalina Nasruddin. I'm the CEO and founder of Rise Up For You. And don't forget to subscribe to the Rise Up For You TV. Just click subscribe right below. Every single week, my team and I are bringing new videos, strategies, and content to help support you and your team. I'll see you next time.